Okay, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome. How is everyone today? Hopefully you're doing good. Phil here live on the stream. Another full day of streaming for you guys. Second day of the week of double stream days. And boy, we've got a lot of fun content lined up for everyone this week here. For those of you who are going to be by, what a variety of stuff you're going to be seeing on the stream. It's going to be pretty cool, okay? So allow me to tell you what you can expect this week. So hopefully you are excited, right? Today we're starting up pretty fun stuff. First of all, we're going to be doing a new game. Not really. It is a brand new release. However, it is a HD remake, remaster. It's not really a remake. From what I'm understanding, it's the same exact game. It's just that they've updated the graphics, much like they did with many games over the last 10 years, taking those classic games and putting them on more modern consoles, right? Now, in particular, the reason I'm really excited is because the game we're about to start playing today is a game that I've always heard massive praise for. I've always heard this is one of the great games of this console generation, that when it was out as a new release, and it really was a game that inspired many other games after it, including the entire Yakuza franchise. And I never got to play it. This was an era. This was very much the era of the late 90s and first half of the 2000s when I was not playing console video games. I was either playing competitive Street Fighter, or I was doing as a hobby, I was building PCs and playing PC games like Unreal Tournament, okay? That's really what I was doing during that era. So I missed out on a lot of console video games of the PS1, PS2, Dreamcast, and even early Xbox era, okay? And of course GameCube as well. I didn't play any GameCube games back in the day. And so Shenmue was a game that was a breakout hit, a really original game for the Dreamcast. A lot of people always praised it, and I never got to play it. And you know, the Dreamcast, it kind of has a sordid tale, because the Dreamcast itself was a really great console. The graphics on the Dreamcast were really exceptionally good for the time. And a lot of the features, for example, Dreamcast was one of the very first consoles to have online connectivity and allow you to do stuff online with your games. And also had a memory card that was a virtual pet. I know that sounds kind of silly, but Tamagotchis, virtual pets, were very popular at the time. And so the Dreamcast bought into that fad. But sadly, just very sadly, what happened was, the Dreamcast failed after about a year to a year and a half being out because of piracy. People found a way to rip all the games and put them on the internet and very easily burn your own games. Personally, I can attest to this because all my friends did it, and even I did it a couple times. As I said, I was only playing fighting games. So what I would do is I would get a ROM for like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I would put in my own music. I would actually download the ROM, edit the ROM to have my own soundtrack in the game, and then I would burn the game and play it so we would have custom music when you played it. And everyone did this back in the day. Like, this was just a very common practice, okay? And in addition to that, Sega had already had many failures, including, you know, the Saturn, which was an exceptionally good console as well, failed. So Sega really needed a big hit, and the piracy thing just pretty much destroyed the fucking game, the console, and the company. You know, Sega as a company stopped being a console manufacturer after the Dreamcast. That was their last outing. Okay? So, really, there was no potential, really, after Shenmue 1 and 2, because there was a sequel, because the game was so popular, there was no really potential for anything else to happen. However, if you guys haven't heard, there was a big announcement. Shenmue 3 is coming out next year. Shenmue 3, summer 2019. I think it's August, sometime in August. Just got an official release date. Okay? So that's pretty awesome. That after how many years they're making a sequel, right? Pretty amazing. That being said, it's really cool that Shenmue 1 and 2 are being re-released for modern consoles. Again, it was a game I always heard great things about, and I was never able to play it. We're going to play it now, finally. And I actually did a poll over the weekend to determine what game was the most anticipated this week. You know, and the 4 games I'm majorly playing this week are Dark Souls 3, Street Fighter 5, Scarface, and this game. And people mostly voted for Shenmue. So people are actually quite excited to see me play this classic. From what I'm going to understand, it could be very slow moving at times. And apparently there's scripted downtime in the game where you're expected to just wander around the open city and try to find stuff to do, like play games at the arcade or train your moves in the park or do various search. I remember they say you search around for items in first person and you got to look around for items and stuff. We'll see how it goes. What I'm hoping is that maybe some of you guys have played the game before. And maybe able to help me out, give me a few tips and pointers on some of the stuff that I can do to optimize my free time in the game. Since just like Yakuza, it's very simple or very similar. Remember in Yakuza, you'll have main story missions, but then you have all this free time. You can run around and do all this crazy amount of stuff in the city. So apparently that's what this game does too. Okay. Only in this game, supposedly it's requires like mandatory that you have to run around and do that stuff. Okay. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Hopefully this is a good playthrough. People have said that the game could be 20 to 25 hours long, which is pretty typical for this kind of a game, I think. You think a Yakuza game, typically the story of a Yakuza game is around 20 to 25 hours long, right? So, this will be something that I'll be playing starting today and balancing over the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping to maybe wrap it up by early September. The next JRPG coming out is Dragon Quest XI, which I definitely want to play, but I also understand that's going to be for a very niche audience. That's not going to be a game that everyone's going to want to see. So more than likely, I'll try to play and finish Shenmue first, and then, make the Dragon Quest playthrough a major part of my schedule, probably nighttime streams, okay? All right, so, Shenmue HD. On the main stream here, 4+ hours of Shenmue gameplay, and I hope you guys are excited. I'm very excited to check this out today, see what it's all about. Tonight, I'm playing Scarface. So for those of you who loved the playthrough 2 years ago, who loved the playthrough again when I went back to it a year ago, and then who loved me playing it on Friday night for the Rageathon, Scarface returns tonight. I'm going to try to do 1 or 2 more drug distribution missions, make enough money to buy the final business, complete the game, and unlock the final story mission, and get it done. I mean, this has been something in limbo for over 2 years, and I would like to see if I can, finish it up. All right, we're going to see. Maybe I won't be able to. All right, but we'll see what happens, okay? All right. Tomorrow, guys, I'm going to, I don't know, I want to play it by ear, but I'm curious what you guys would want to see. Maybe tomorrow you guys would want more Shenmue over more Dark Souls 3. I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys are going to be clamoring for after today's session. I guess we'll see if this ends up being really successful. You guys like the session and, everything's good. Then maybe I'll play this again tomorrow right away. Or if we play it today, like, okay, it's good, but, I want to go back to Dark Souls. Then maybe tomorrow I'll go back to Dark Souls 3. I'm not sure. All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens and determine it based off of, I guess, viewer interaction and feedback and what you guys are liking more, okay? Then tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing some throwback Street Fighter. I'll be doing some either Super Turbo, Third Strike, or both in the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, depending on how things go. Then on Thursday, whatever game I didn't play first stream on Wednesday, I'll be playing. So if I play Dark Souls 3 tomorrow, then it'll be more Shenmue Thursday or vice versa. And then Thursday night, yes, I am going to do another session of Street Fighter 5. In this session, probably I will still be using Ryu, but more than likely this will be the final session where I only use Ryu, because really what I'm trying to do is use a character that's very basic and basically get a tour of the game. Try to fight against as many opponents as possible to see what every character's strategy basically is. And based off of that, get an education, okay, on the game. Just last night, playing Street Fighter V for 90 minutes, because really the servers went down for about 30 minutes, which sucked. But after about 90 minutes, I saw like 4 or 5 characters who I'd never even seen before. I think Sagat, Blanca, Cody, Zeki, and I think there was 1 or 2 others who I had seen literally for the first time, never knew how they fought, and was able to check them out, which was cool. That's what I mean. Like, it's going to be like that for a while, since I haven't played the game for so long, that I'm going to need to re-immerse myself in it to understand certain characters and who they are and what their abilities are, okay? So, we shall see how that goes, all right? So, what a variety week. Shenmue, Dark Souls 3, Classic Street Fighter, Modern Street Fighter. Some good stuff this week, and I hope you guys will come out to the streams and check them out. Viewership has been pretty damned good recently. Participation has been all right. It depends. Like, there's been a couple people who've been very generous. Yesterday, I got a ridiculously large tip, which was very, very nice. But keep in mind, guys, that, participation in regards to other things like, cheering, subbing, tipping in order to get interactions on the streams are much appreciated, and they help me out as well. Especially for a game like Shenmue, where I'm sure there's, I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say, well, there might be a lot of downtime because it's an RPG, but then again, I heard this game has a lot of action in it. So I don't know. Actually don't know. But, potential for interactions and, shout outs and everything is high. So, hope you guys will come by and enjoy the streams, right? Okay. Now, just to address it, because I know some people are going to ask, yes, today I am using my PlayStation 4 Pro, my brand new one that showed up yesterday. And I was particularly asked by the person who was very generous and donated it to not give them any credit or mention who they are, for fear that, as you guys know, these dickhead trolls, all right, sadly, will cause trouble for everybody, right? And if this person, got, which, by the way, I should say this because people have already started conspiracy theories. No, this is not a person who frequents the streams. This is not a person who you guys know as like a frequent stream chatter or anything like that. It's not a mod. It's nothing like that. This was just someone who had watched my content for many years, who is very appreciative of the content that I put out, and, for free for so long, saw the situation I was in with all the problems I was having with my Model 1 PS4, and basically just stepped up and said, I want to help you out here, so just, especially with the hardcore gaming season coming up, all the new games, I want you to have a console that's not going to be giving you constant fucking problems, okay? So, I do have a PS4 Pro, and due to a generous donation from someone who contacted me and said, Phil, were you looking at a certain TV or anything? Because I know that your TV's outdated. And I said, well, there's a certain model of TCL TV that I've been looking at and I would really like to get. And it's very cheap. It was only like $300 on Amazon. And then I showed it to this person and they said, okay, well, guess what? I want to get it for you. So, yeah, it's on order and I'm going to be getting a new TV this week too, which is pretty awesome. By the way, it's small compared to my old one. I think my old TV was like 55 or 60 inches, some crazy shit to the LG that I have now. But it's just not good. At this point, it's got a bunch of dead pixels. All right. I know it has too much input lag. When I bought the TV, input lag wasn't even a concern. Now it's like such a giant thing, right? So I've heard these TCL TVs are really good low input lag for gaming. And also have decent visual quality. If I were looking to watch 4K movies on the thing, or if I were on the side of the TV, I wouldn't be able to see it. You know how they say, the range, you have to look straight on a certain TV, a cheaper TV. Oh, you should get a better TV, because if you look at an angle, you can't see it. I don't care. I'm sitting straight to the TV all day, every day. So, yeah, I'm going to be getting a new TV. I believe they didn't send me the delivery confirmation yet, but it's supposed to be shipping today. And so I'll probably be getting the new TV, I'm thinking Thursday. We'll see, okay? So, very nice. Obviously, people being very, 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 very generous recently. And I want to say thank you for that to these people who have donated. Because it's much appreciated, especially now, as I said, with this hardcore gaming season right around the corner. We're gonna have some pretty epic games like Spider-Man, Mega Man. Well, Mega Man, that's not graphically demanding, but you see what I'm saying. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. First-person shooters like Black Ops and Battlefield. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, God, that's going to be a great one. Soul Calibur 6. Amongst many others. I only just went into October there, but these games will look way better with the PS4 Pro. In fact, just to give you guys some perspective, okay? just to give you guys some perspective, all right? Last night, after switching to the PS4 Pro, I booted up Dark Souls 3, and guess what? It runs at not full, but nearly 60 frames per second. It chops up a little bit here and there, but for the most part, the game runs at a very high frame rate. Basically, it performs just like Dark Souls 2 did last summer, and this is going to be amazing, because especially when I get to the parts of the game where the frame rate really just fucked me up, the first run, remember when I fought the Pontiff boss and the game would run it like fucking molasses to the point where I would press buttons and nothing would happen. It would delay and slow down to a slug. Well, guess what? This game is running way fucking better, all right? Way better. All right, pretty sweet. So there you go. Now some people are saying, oh, Phil, does your new TV, will it support HDR and all that? Well, it will. The TV is a good TV, but my setup doesn't. Like, for example, I have an an HDMI splitter, my video capture device. None of my equipment is equipped for this new stuff, okay? So for the short term, I'll be using a PS4 Pro and a new TV, and the immediate benefits will be obviously no fucking audio glitches like we've been getting crazy amounts of recently whenever I play on my PS4. That just itself is going to be a boon. Better hard drive space, and much increased performance in the frame rate department for all these new releases coming out, okay? So those are giant improvements right off the bat, okay? But long term, if I ever get some money where I can spend on it, yeah, I would like to upgrade my setup here, where I definitely upgrade the HDMI splitter to be HDR compliant, which I know it isn't. Maybe upgrade, eventually I'd like to upgrade the capture device, although honestly it's still pretty good. You know, some people have asked, well, does this mean you're going to upgrade to 1080p 60 frames per second? No, because right now I can't. Right now, I recorded a certain quality for YouTube that's higher than what I put out on Twitch, because Twitch has a very strict limitations on the bandwidth they allow you to stream at, and it's pretty low. Only 6,000 kilobits per second streaming. To do 1080p 60 frames per second with my setup, probably I could barely do it, and even if I did, then I couldn't capture at a higher quality for YouTube. It would actually kill everything, my processor and everything would chop up, because I've tried to do it before, it doesn't work. So long term, if I were able to, yes, I would like to update my capture setup, but at this point, no. We're going to do 1080p. Dependent on the game, it'll either be 30 or 60 frames. Some games will be 720p 60 frames. For fighting games in particular, that's much better because you get the full frame rate. Versus if I did 1080p 60 frames, then I probably wouldn't be able to record at the better quality for YouTube. All right. So basically, everything's staying as is for now when it comes to capture quality, but we will see immediately, we'll see a increased performance of frame rate on all games that I play. I'll have less input delay and no fucking audio issues, which is a tremendous increase, better thing. No fucking audio going out and I have to get up and fuck with the fucking console for 5-10 minutes, 2-3 times a day sometimes. That won't happen anymore, so that's great, okay? So again, thank you guys who've been generous. Obviously, this person who's donating is a really generous person, and also thank you to all you guys who have been contributing recently. Cheers, subs, and tips, everything. Thank you. At least in regards to the hardcore gaming season, things are looking up, okay? Now that I'm going to have better equipment and better performance on all these games, it should be pretty sweet, okay? All right, so outside of all that, I really don't have much else to talk about, and I do want to get started. So what we're going to do very quickly is I'll do some quick plugs, and then we will jump into shout-outs for those who've been cheering, subbing, and tipping here on the pre-stream. And then we're going to jump into Shenmue. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for 10 years. If you're not aware, I am 10 years of my life I have dedicated to be a content creator on the internet, and I've done this as a living for over 7. I love it. I absolutely love, number one, being, the master of my own destiny, being my own boss. Number two, I love the fact that my hobby is what I do for a living, and ever since I adopted these more interactive streams last year, I love this. I love hanging out with you guys, talking with you, live experiencing games for the first time. It's just a really amazing experience, okay? Very positive, very different from what I used to do back when I was just an isolated content creator for YouTube, and I wouldn't give this up for the world. I love it. That being said, if you guys like what I do, you'll like the free daily streams, you like the free daily videos on YouTube, and you want to see it continue, there are many ways that you can go above and beyond just being a standard content watcher or stream viewer. What can you do? Number one, spread the word. Let people know that Phil has recently changed his video format on DSPGaming on YouTube, and my videos are now much longer. So if you subscribe to the channel, I will not flood your inbox. You'll only get a handful of videos a day, and it makes it much more manageable, all right? Number two, let people know that if you come by the streams, they're positive and fun, right? They're awesome. Come on by, hang out with us, have a good positive experience. Don't have to worry about people being toxic and shitty. It's a really great interactive thing, right? Now, in addition to that, if you'd like to go above and beyond that, there are many other ways that you can contribute. For example, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. And if you contribute to my Patreon, you will earn monthly perks, which are ways for me to give back to your contributions. In my opinion, the absolute best perk is the $5 perk. By pledging $5 or more to my Patreon, you will be able to nominate and vote on games for events, and this month you'll be nominating and voting on indie games for an upcoming event. I mean, in particular, there have been a lot of indie games recently that I missed out on, like Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, Death's Gambit, just a few of them that people have mentioned to me. And this would be really awesome to finally be able to check those games out during a marathon-style event, and you'll be able to pick the games for that if you pledge to my Patreon, all right? It's an unprecedented amount of power. Now, there's other perks, too. I'm not going to get into those, but give it a look over at patreon.com/darksidephil. You've got about 10 days left this month to pledge, and I want to say thank you to anyone who does. Very much appreciate it. You can also check out my Teespring shop, guys, at teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. Fun new merch. My 10-year anniversary line of product just launched a couple weeks ago, and it's been very successful. Had many sales, actually, which is great. I think a lot of people are celebrating my 10 years as a content creator, and that's really awesome. Shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, stickers, mugs, all kinds of fun stuff over there. Give it a look. If you buy anything, obviously, you get a really cool collectible, and I'm going to get, a little bit of a commission off each sale, just full disclosure. I'm not doing it for free, obviously. So pretty sweet. Thank you guys, all right, for all your support on Teespring. That's appreciated as well. Now, in particular, if you're here live on the stream and you would like to interact with me on the stream and get a shout-out during gameplay, you can do so by either cheering, subbing, or tipping. During the stream, I will give you a verbal shout-out. All right. However, there's some criteria to follow. Please try to be positive. Don't bring in negativity or insults of any kind to me or another streamer. No negative memes from other streamers and the like. You know, we're trying to basically have a really fun time here where everyone can feel like there's a cool, chill place to watch me game and all kind of laugh together at the fails and the rage and all the stuff that happens and that gameplay brings, right? So please consider, trying to, getting a shout out during the stream. It's a really awesome way to be interactive, but please keep it positive. All right. Number 2, please be short. The more short-worded you are, the better chance I'm going to give you the shout-out. If you give me a giant paragraph with 400 sentences, like sadly some people have been doing recently, I'm not going to read the whole thing and derail the entirety of the stream. Okay, just real talk. It's a gameplay stream. I got to keep it moving. All right. And please use your head. Try to stay on topic. Don't come in here trying to derail the stream with religious talk or politics or negative detractor memes or things that in general are just going to stir the pot and make it not an enjoyable experience or cause controversy or argument. We don't want any of that. We just want to have fun with games. Okay? Okay. All right. Now, if you would like to go another step and get visual recognition for your contributions, you can do that as well. If you either cheer 50 bits or more in a single cheer, or if you subscribe to the channel and click on the share button that appears after you subscribe, or if you tip me $5 or more in a single go. If you do any of those things, all right, then I will have an animation, a nice fun animation we'll play here on the stream for you to give you visual recognition for what you're contributing as well, all right? So pretty sweet. Thank you guys for any of your contributions. As you can see at the top of your screen here, we've got the Stream Stats Leaderboard. And if you cheer, sub, or tip, you will have a chance to get up there if you are the current top cheerer or top tipper, and I will be updating the total number of subs during the course of today's stream as well. By the way, we're very close to the most subs I've ever had. The most I've ever had was, I think, 563. So we're actually just underneath the top amount of subs I've ever had, which is pretty cool. I wonder if we can beat the record, right? But all that being said, guys, thank you for your contributions. It is much appreciated. As you can also see, if you actually look at the top of the stream chat today, the weekly stats are being updated. There's the new weekly cheer stats that are updated live during the live streams. So you have 2 opportunities to get noticed. Number 1, if you're the top cheerer for the day or top tipper for the day, you'll get on my leaderboard. Number 2, if you're top 10 cheerer for the week, you'll end up on that leaderboard. So lots of opportunities for recognition. All right. If you subscribe to the channel, you get many benefits, including access to all of my emotes, which is really sweet because now I'm playing a lot of Street Fighter, so you'll be able to use all those Hadouken emotes and the like. Also, you get a cool Chat Crown loyalty badge, which is a colored crown that shows how long you've been a supporter. Now, there is a change in subscriptions that if you guys have heard, I don't know if you've heard or not, Previously, it was anyone who subscribed to a channel does not have to watch advertisements, all right? They are changing this, not me, but Twitch is changing this policy. I think they said it's either September or October. Don't quote me. I'm not 100%. But basically coming up, if you're a Twitch Prime subscriber, meaning you have a Amazon Prime subscription and it gives you a free sub on Twitch, what they're saying is they're going to take away the ability to not watch ads. You're going to have to watch advertisements if a streamer runs them. But if you are a paid subscriber, not an Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime subscriber, but you actually pay for your ongoing subscription, then apparently you will still be able to skip the ads. So if I run ads on a stream and you're a paid subscriber, you don't have to watch them, okay? The good news is I barely run any ads, maybe twice a stream tops, right? Not a big deal. It's very rare if I run more than that, so. But anyway, subscribing gives you guys tons of benefits, and obviously, it helps me out. So please consider subscribing. Last but not least, guys, if you would like to tip me during today's stream, this is a process completely separate from the cheering with bits or subscribing process. Those are built into Twitch. But tipping is a different third-party process. How do you do it? Well, if you look below my stream right now, you will see a button, and that button says Tip Jar. If you click on the Tip Jar button, all right, you will be able to leave a tip either anonymously or you can leave your name in a message if you'd like a shout out during the stream, okay? And thank you to anyone who does do that. I appreciate it. Now, if you don't see that tip jar button, the alternate method is if you type !tip into the stream chat, our bot will post up a link that you can click on, and that will allow you to tip via that method as well. Okay, guys? So pretty cool. Very nice. Thank you guys for all of your support. That is the end of the plugs, and now it's time to move on to get to the shout-outs for those of you who have cheered, subbed, or tipped here during the pre-stream. So first of all, I want to give some credit to Infinite55, who did a 100-bit cheer overnight. Thank you very much to Infinite for his overnight support. It is very much appreciated. Knows Nobody did a 100-bit cheer, and he says, Phil, I can't watch your playthrough, but I hope you have fun with Shenmue, which I'm actually looking forward to. Well, I don't know why you can't watch. Maybe it's because you're just not available today, but thank you for the cheer, Knows Nobody. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here. There we go. All right, thank you very much, Knows Nobody. There we are. Okay, Resident Evil Beating says, I'm a fan of Maximilian Dude, just as I'm a fan of yours. Can you explain why his stream runs at 1080p 60 frames while yours only does 1080p 30 frames? Or, I guess the flip side of that would be that I will do 720p 60 frames. I would like to know what the difference is between your stream and his. Probably a ton. Now, I don't know what setup Max uses. I'm assuming he probably has a much better PC than me. He probably has a much better capture device than me. He makes tons more money than me. I know that for a fact. Because he has way more views than me, right? So he probably has way better means to do the stuff that he does. So number one off the bat, he's probably working with much better equipment than I am. Number two, when Max streams, I believe he only streams. When I'm streaming, I'm also recording for YouTube at a different quality completely, okay? When Max just does videos for YouTube, he does them really high quality, but when he's streaming, he has to limit his quality streams, all right, because of the limitations of Twitch. So he's only streaming 1080p 60 frames. He's not recording at the same thing. Later on, he might take that stream and chop it up and do videos for YouTube, but he's only doing one. I'm doing both. I'm doing both because immediately after my stream, I'm immediately uploading it to YouTube. So it's basically double the work for my computer, okay? I tried recording and streaming at 1080p 60 frames per second at the same time, and my PC couldn't handle it. My PC was crapping out. Choppy frame rate is really bad. So I do it the way I do it, and it's worked for years, and that's the way I'm going to keep doing it. Even when I ever do finally maybe get to upgrade my setup to the point where maybe I can get a better PC, better capture setup, or whatever, great. But I'm one man, and I work my butt off as it is with the streams. I really don't have money to do those upgrades, nor do I have time to research anything. So for me, it's game. That's what I'm all about, right? So that's probably the reason. Now, I could be completely wrong, Resident Evil Beating. I'm not Max. I don't know what he does. I'm just using the know-how that I have and the knowledge and the stuff that I have here to do as best I can. And I want to say thanks to you guys for checking out the streams, okay? Tannemounter did a 50-bit cheer. Thank you, Tannemounter, for the 50-bit cheer. I appreciate that. Baby in the chat cheered and says, with the delay of Spyro Remastered, would you be playing Vampiria Chronicles 4? It's a strategy RPG with third-person shooter elements and likely be enough to last a few weeks and fill the gap created by Spyro's delay. No. And the reason I say no is because, number one, I'm playing Shenmue now, and I don't know if I'm going to finish Shenmue before Dragon Quest XI comes out. Dragon Quest XI comes out September 4th, okay? And I definitely want to play Dragon Quest XI. This is a game franchise I've always wanted to play for YouTube. I've played 3, 4, I think even maybe 5 of these games on there when they were ported to the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance years ago, and I love them. And I want to play the new Dragon Quest, okay? Now, I know Dragon Quest games are also incredibly long JRPGs. So first I got to finish Shenmue, then I'm going to jump into Dragon Quest. I'm already going to have JRPG content going, and there's no way I'm then going to take on yet another kind of JRPG franchise at this point. Oh, by the way, I never even played Octopath Traveler, which was the hottest JRPG of the summer, and that was because I was playing Persona 5. So you see what I mean? Like, there's so much JRPG-style content coming out in this year that there's no way, sadly, that I could play every one of them. And quite frankly, if I were to play another one, it would be Octopath, not Valkyria Chronicles. So sorry, but that would not happen, okay? Chris did a 100-bit cheer. He says, why do you play Street Fighter the most versus other better fighting games? Well, first of all, that's a subjective statement. You're saying better. That is your personal opinion, and you're entitled to it, Chris. You know, I wholeheartedly believe that everyone could like, you know, to each their own and like whatever they like. By the way, I'm putting you up on the leaderboard here because you're tied for the top cheer for the day. For me, the reason that I like Street Fighter so much is it's the original franchise. It's the one that started it all back in 1991 in arcades. I was there. I was in video arcades as a young child. You know, I think I was like 13 years old or something, playing these games. You know, actually I was younger than that. Fuck, I can't even remember how young I was. I think it was like 10 or 11. I'm trying to think. That was 1991. When I graduated high school in 2000, I was 18, right? So I would have been like 9 or 10 years old. Holy shit. Damn, I was young playing Street Fighter, right? But I was there in arcades as a child playing Street Fighter. I grew up in arcades playing Street Fighter. This was my hobby. This is what I loved to do. And really, all modern fighting games are a part of the fact that they all kind of base their ideas of what a fighting game is based off of Street Fighter. They all have fundamentals and things taken from the original Street Fighter 2 game. And, you know, for me, it's always been all about Street Fighter. Even though I do play, I'll play Tekken. I'll play, you know, Injustice. I'll play all these games. But, the one that I usually, if I'm going to put time into it, is going to be Street Fighter, okay? Now, in particular, I don't really like Street Fighter 5. I do feel that Street Fighter 5 is the weakest of any numbered installment of Street Fighter. I really do. I think that here we are in Season 3, and I think it's still shit. The game was basically made by people who don't play Street Fighter. It is actually true. One of the head devs of Street Fighter 5 is a guy who was one of the guys who made Guilty Gear. Or was it Blaze Blue? I forget, one or the other. And that's why the game plays so differently from other Street Fighter games. The footsie game is lame in the game. You don't know what I'm talking about if you don't know the technical aspects of fighters. But even though I don't like Street Fighter 5, I'll still go back and I'll play the classics. I'll go back and play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo or Third Strike because I love those games. And yes, now I am giving Street Fighter 5 another chance years later. Okay? So there you have it. That's why. Now, I'm certainly not saying Street Fighter is the best. In fact, I agree with you. I actually think currently, I would say Tekken 7 is actually a better game than Street Fighter 5. Absolutely, I agree with you there. We also got Soul Calibur 6 coming out later this year in October. I don't know. I mean, I haven't played Soul Calibur in a million years at this point, like years and years. So we'll have to see if good Soul Calibur 6 is. Technically, Soul Calibur 6 usually is a really good fighting game franchise. So definitely, I would say there are other games that are currently either better. Oh, and of course you got Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, which everyone is playing. Dragon Ball FighterZ is the hottest fighting game out there, duh. So you got many games that are better than Street Fighter, in my opinion, right now. But for me, if I'm going to go back to a franchise, it would be the franchise I grew up with, so it's going to be Street Fighter, okay? All right, Floppy Donkey Sausage cheered, and he says, I turned off ad blocker like you said. Well, thank you for that. Even though, like I said, it doesn't help me really on these streams. It would help me if you watch my YouTube videos. Then he cheered again and says, Scarface stream height. I got a 25-bit cheer from someone whose name is offensive racially, so I'm not going to say it. Floppy Donkey Sausage cheered again and said PS4 Pro height. Sendy did a 25-bit cheer. He says, Shenmue so far has glitches. It's going to get a patch soon to fix them. Not everyone's getting them. Minor audio and visual bugs. All right. That's not so bad. As long as it's not, like, game-breaking, save-deleting fucking bugs, I think we're okay. All right? Okay. Resident Evil Beating Cheer, he says, does your new 4K TV have HDR? Yes, it does. But like I said, I know for a fact that my other equipment, like my HDMI splitter that I use to capture, that's not HDR compliant. I know my capture device isn't HDR compliant. So even if I were, even if I were to get HDR, I don't know. Well, I have it. What am I talking about? Even if I were to get HDR, I'm getting HDR. Obviously, PS4 Pro can do HDR. My new TV could do HDR. I don't know if I would even be able to enable it without a significant upgrade of equipment. Like I would probably, at the very least, I'd have to buy a new HDMI splitter that I know is HDR compliant. But I don't know. Like my capture device, would it still be able to take in the video signal and stream and capture if it's HDR, but it's not compliant with it? Maybe not, right? In which case, then there's no point, right? So I think right now, like I said, I'm kind of where I am with what I'm doing, but moving forward, maybe I'll be able to upgrade. We'll find out, okay? All right. Knows Nobody did another 100-bit cheer, and he asked, am I going to sell my old PS4? Well, here's what I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do the smart thing, okay? I'm going to do the fucking smart thing. I am going to save the PS4 for a while. Why? Because what happens if within 1 to 2 months this PS4 Pro has some kind of an issue and now I'm dead in the water with no PS4 at all, right? That would be horrendously bad. So I'm going to hold on to it for at least for a while to make sure this PS4 Pro is good and we have no issues with it and everything's fine. Once maybe a few months pass and we're into the hardcore gaming season and everything, yeah, then maybe I'll go trade in the PS4 with either GameStop or Best Buy or somewhere else. I'll have to look into it and see like who has the highest payout rates for used PS4s to make some money back, right? So that's the deal. That's what I'm going to do, okay? But I'm going to play it smart. I'm not going to rush, I got to get rid of it right now, and the next thing you know, my fucking Pro has an issue, and now I'm screwed. B-Boy Cyclone has resubbed for the 11th month in a row. Thank you very much, B-Boy Cyclone, for the resub. I really do appreciate that. Okay, let's see. YOLO Dopper cheered, and he says, Phil, great Street Fighter V stream last night. I had a lot of fun watching it. In fact, I went back on YouTube and watched it again. I hope you do Street Fighter V every few days. Well, right now, YOLO Dopper, I'm in a very early stage where after being away from the game for over 2 years, I need to play a lot in order to re-immerse myself and learn all the characters. Because I don't remember, first of all, I don't even remember half the shit from the regular cast, right? And now I've got all these new characters thrown into the mix too. So I definitely have to keep playing it at least a couple times a week in order to keep immersing myself in it and seeing as much as I can see so that I can begin to learn. Then once I feel that I'm starting to see stuff and learn stuff, then maybe I can say, okay, I'm not going to play Ryu anymore. I'll try a couple other characters and see what their abilities are and mess around with them and go from there, okay? But for now, yeah, I am. Like I said, I played it last night. I'm going to play it Thursday night. And we'll go from there. We'll see how things go, okay? He cheered again, and he says, you were born during a huge blizzard storm? That's weird. Yes, there was a blizzard in April, because I was born April 6th. And when I was born that year, there was a freak blizzard in early April in Connecticut. And my dad was trying to get to the hospital while my mom was in labor, because I guess she had been at the hospital for a day or two, and they were waiting, when is the baby going to come? And it wasn't coming, I wasn't coming, I was being stubborn. And then so my dad's like, I can't just be off work permanently, I got to go back to work, but, if and when labor starts, call me, I'll get here right away. Of course, there's a blizzard, and then my mom goes into labor, so my dad has to try to get to the hospital in, like, this crazy snowstorm. He's, like, trying to rush across town in like, a foot of snow. But he did make it, so. All right. I have no idea why you asked me that question, by the way, but there you go. Evergreen cheered and said, ever play Duke Nukem 3D? Would you for a stream if it was voted for? First of all, yes, Duke Nukem 3D. I played it back in the day on PC. Back in the era of when all those games, Doom, Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem, they were all huge. Hexen was actually a really good one that almost no one talks about in the modern era, but Hexen, I really liked Hexen. But yeah, Duke Nukem, great game, because it was really, as they say, smash mouth hard. Like, it was really tough, because there was just waves and waves of fucking enemies that would come at you. But at the same time, the game had amazing amounts of weapons, like really cool, a shrink gun, a freeze gun, stuff that you would never see in like a traditional shooter. Plus, you had Duke Nukem, who was constantly voice acting during the game, talking shit to the enemies. It had a lot of adult humor in it. It was really cool for the era, and that was definitely a 90s game. You wouldn't see Duke Nukem come out in 2018 Too many SJWs would complain. But for the era that it came out, it was a really good game. Would I ever play it? Sure, I would. If people wanted to see it, I would absolutely play it. We do things like Patron's Choice events and the like all the time. But it's never really been picked. So yes, I would consider doing it. Absolutely. Dude Frozen Cheers says, thank you for shortening down the plug segment of the stream. I hope you get more viewers and subs for it. Well, thank you. Yeah, I am. Basically, when I get the plugs, I'm trying to do it as quick as possible. I try to get through it within like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, real fast. Hitting on all the points if I can. Okay? Floppy Donkey Sausage Cheers says, Phil, do you consider yourself one of the hardest working people in your industry? See, I can't say that because it wouldn't be me to say that, number one. And number two, it's all subjective. What is work? Some people would say me just sitting here playing games all day isn't work. Other people would say, well, yeah, it is tons of work because he's got to sit there, he's got to play the games, put on an entertaining stream, micromanage all the quality of the stream to make sure it's recording, to make sure that everything's working properly. He's got to manage ad breaks, he's got to manage uploads, he's got to do social media. He's on stream for 8+ hours a day. Then behind the scenes, he's doing hours of work. So it all depends on your perspective. You know what I mean? The thing is, I couldn't answer the question. I don't know what other people do. All I know is what I do. I can tell you I do work hard and I work a lot. All right. In fact, Kat would be the first person to tell you she wishes that we had way more time together. But a lot of the weekdays, she's working. I'm working. We see each other for like an hour around dinner. Then I'm back on stream. And then I see her for like maybe a half an hour before she goes to sleep. So I get to see my girlfriend 90 minutes a day, and we live together. I mean, that's pretty crazy. It's because I'm working so much. So I am a hard worker, but, can I compare myself to anyone else in the industry? No, I can't. Because I don't know what they do. I have absolutely no idea what these other people do. All I know is I do try to work hard, per my means and what I can actually do, okay? And I'm appreciative of those of you who come out and hang out with me every day and, let's see here. I lost my place because we got a few cheers and they pushed my cheers down. Hold on. Okay. Ribley Atomic cheered. He says, other than Dark Souls, what video game world would suck to live in? What video game world wouldn't suck to live in? Every video game world seems to be rife with conflict. There's wild monsters terrorizing the people. There's a fucking civil war or military operations constantly going on around the world. There's fucking evil sorcerers summoning in demons at every corner you turn. There's people jumping on top of mushrooms that explode into gory messes. Like, I wouldn't want to live in any video game. Street Fighter, every time you go outside, there's two big roided dudes fucking oiled up and fighting, slapping the shit out of each other in the middle of the street. God damn, I just wanted to cross the street to buy a fucking quart of milk, and instead I got a fucking spinning clothesline in my fucking face because Zangief was out there fighting Guile. Like, what the fuck, man? I wouldn't want to live in a video game world. These are dangerous fucking places, and that's why they're the world of fantasy. Alright? Shout out to Jack Attack. Alright, Jack Attack. And he says, what do you think about streams? No, excuse me, I did not read that correctly at all. Let's try this again. What do you think about Steam's new streaming service and people speculating it will overthrow Twitch? I have not heard anything about this. If it is a service that ties in with Steam, alright, then obviously it would be PC exclusive. So for people who play games on PC, maybe that's a huge thing. For me, it would not affect me at all because I'm primarily a console gamer and I would just stick with Twitch, right? However, it is funny that Twitch really doesn't have major competition. If you take a look, there are companies who try. You got Hitbox, you got Mixer, you got YouTube. None of them have really been able to step up and do what Twitch does. So, honestly, Twitch has not had any major competition, period, much like YouTube has really not had any major competition, period, which allows YouTube to get away with the crap that they get away with on a daily basis. If anything, having a major competitor who actually does pose a threat, typically in an industry, makes it actually better rather than worse. And the reason I say that is it makes people step up and try to be better. So if anything, if Twitch actually did have a major competitor that was drawing people away from Twitch, Twitch might try to add new things and or improve their service to make it more attractive to people to stream here and watch here. So if anything, it might actually be better rather than worse, in my opinion. But I don't know. I don't think, like, for example, if this Steam streaming service is only PC games, obviously right off the bat, console exclusive games, they need to be somewhere, right? Someone like me, who primarily is playing on console, I'm going to be staying on Twitch. I'm not going anywhere. I like Twitch, so, well, we'll see. You know what? Another rumbling, right? I mean, we've been hearing rumblings that Amazon is going to do their own on-demand video service to compete with YouTube for how long? Year and a half now, and we still don't see it. So hopefully, you know, all these things come to fruition. I guess we'll find out. Chris cheered. He says, how many actual other Twitch streamers have you played against while you play? I have no idea, because the bottom line is, Chris, I don't really know many other Twitch streamers. And apparently what happens is sometimes I have played them and I didn't know, and then people after the fact would say, Phil, did you know that you played this guy? Apparently I did play Low Tier God in Street Fighter 4 at some point, although I have no idea when. Okay. But people are saying, yeah, there was like I was doing a random set with a new character or whatever that I was trying to learn, and I played him and he whooped my ass, to which I respond, probably correct. It makes sense. If I'm trying a new character and I didn't know what I was doing, and he's, you know, been playing the game hardcore, because by the way, except for the original outing of Street Fighter 4, all the expansions after that, I never played them hardcore. I just played them casually. So I wasn't very good at it. You know, he played it hardcore, you know. I'm not surprised to hear that he beat my ass, right? I'm sure there's other games like first-person shooters. I'm sure that I've played with other people from other streamers and stuff all the time in online matches and stuff. I just don't know, you know. So I honestly would not be able to call out and say, oh, I played this guy or that guy or whatever, because I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Judicious Echoes cheered. He says, there's a Hexen spiritual successor called A Medieval that'll be on consoles eventually, made by some of the original developers. Really? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Hexen, like I said, Hexen was a game amidst all those other first-person shooters at the time. Doom, Wolfenstein, and Duke Nukem. And the difference was it used magic instead of guns. There's no guns in the game. It's all magic use and stuff. And it's actually a really good game. But really, it ended up being, it basically kind of ended up being the game that was the cult favorite, but not the one that got the mainstream attention like the other games. And so no one really talks about Hexen anymore, which is kind of funny. I think it's one of the better ones, but whatever. All right, that's cool. There apparently is going to be a spiritual successor. Hey, with the resurgence of games like Doom recently, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of the classic games come by, right? FL Gibson 97 has resubbed for the second month in a row. Thank you, FL Gibson, for the resub. I appreciate that. Chris cheered and says, I know you hate detractors. What do you think that they misunderstand about you? A ton of stuff. But the thing is, if I were to sit here and address all of it, first of all, some of them just fail to believe any of it. A lot of them have just been so conditioned against me that they don't want, even if there's something that's good that happens, they either act like it didn't happen, or they write it off as, oh, this is just another way for Phil to pull the wool over someone's eyes. He's really a horrendous human being and a scammer and blah, 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 blah. All the nasty stuff that they constantly say about me, right? I don't really think that me giving any time to the stuff that they say and do about me, it makes sense. There's just too much. And, you know, it's to the point where I just want to not talk about them. I'd rather just be here positive and have fun streams. All right? So there you go. The Canada's in cheered and says, it's none of my business. I know you work hard. Just remember to always prioritize your relationship over your job. I know it can be hard, but I don't want to see you in another depressed state. The bottom line is that you are absolutely right. In life, you need a work-life balance. You do. You absolutely need a work-life balance. It has to be. Even when you're in financial troubles, you still need a work-life balance. You can't just work. Things fall apart, you know. And, you know, you're right. That's why, if you guys don't notice, I have 1 day off a week. I absolutely need a day off a week to spend with Kat. It's just mandatory. Now, there may be some exceptions every once in a while where that date changes, and maybe there'll be days when it's different, where I do a half day or whatever. But, yeah, there needs to be time to spend in personal life with your loved ones. It's just that simple. If you're going to be in a relationship, it's necessary. It'd be one thing if I was single and doing this by myself and literally this is all I do. But you're right. You're absolutely right. And I instituted many positive things and changes. I changed the schedule. If you guys didn't notice, back in April, I made my streams earlier now. And they go for a certain length so that I can put in more gameplay. But then, because of that, I get to see Kat a little bit more. Because it was at one point I wasn't seeing her at all, which was insane. Um, so yeah, you know, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, and thank you for the cheer. YOLO Dauber cheered and said, I suggest that you stop using credit cards altogether. If only life were that easy, I would love to do that. I would. But sadly, you know, with the amount of money I make all going to pay off existing debt, I don't really have free funds to spend. Honestly, guys, like what I make in tips, this is the truth. Whatever money I make on Twitch and via YouTube ads goes to pay all of my existing debt. And whatever you guys tip me, typically is what I use to try to buy stuff. Like, if I need to buy a new game, Shenmue, I use tip money to buy that. And it sucks when some months I don't get enough tips to cover the cost of the stuff I'm doing, and I need to dip back into my credit cards and stuff. It's not good, okay? But I'm certainly not going to go into the sordid details of any of my behind-the-scenes financials. That's pretty stupid. Game Master used Phoenix down cheered, and he says, can't watch today, but here's some bits to get yourself a Pepsi. Thank you, Game Master. Good to see ya. Kate cheered. I said, happy Tuesday, Phil. Thank you, Kate, for the cheer. I appreciate that. Judicious Echoes cheered again. Excuse me. All right, let's try that again. Judicious Echoes cheered. I said, Amid Evil has several hours of early access available now on PC. They made a spiritual successor to Blood called Dusk as well. But I remember Blood. I don't remember it too well, but I remember Blood. That was another classic first-person shooter. Okay. Shout out to Joe P or Jop AMC. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the sub. Who subscribed to Twitch Prime? Appreciate that. Chris cheered again. He says, you mentioned you have a degree. What was it and why haven't you used it? It was a bachelor's in finance. And the reason I didn't use it, I'll go through this again. I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. I don't want to get on a tangent or a rant, which I always do when I talk about this subject. The education system in America fucking sucks. Basically, I got out of college and applied for a bunch of jobs in the finance field. And I'm not even exaggerating. Every single one of them got back to me and said, well, you have no job experience. And we were looking for people with experience. Therefore, we're not going to hire you. And I went back to some of them and said, but I don't understand. I'm fresh out of college. What experience was I supposed to have? They were like, oh, well, there were probably many internship opportunities you should have taken, and it's your fault. I'm like, internship opportunities? I did look into internship opportunities when I was in college. You want to know what they were? Basically work a 40-hour job for free while you're in college. Now, sadly, I was not of the privilege to do that because guess what? I had a bunch of college loans. I was paying for college, and therefore I had to work to pay the loans to go to college. So they were expecting me to not only work a 40-hour work week at an internship for free, then maintain a job outside of that to pay for college, and then attend college classes and go to college at the same time. It's not fucking possible. But this is how the American education system is. It's basically a scam in a lot of ways, where basically you're paying a ton of money to get a degree that's worthless. What you really need is job experience, and no one will take you on for job experience unless you're going to do it for free, which you can't do unless you're rich, which I'm not. So the whole thing was a system set up so that I couldn't get a good job out of college in the business field. So I ended up getting a job out of college that was claimed was finance. It wasn't. It was predatory lending. It was called Wells Fargo Financial, and it was 100% predatory lending, finding people with terrible credit and trying to give them mortgages that were high loan to value on their homes, and then eventually getting to the situation where they would rack up their debt again and their houses would get foreclosed on because they wouldn't pay them. It was a terrible business. It was a terrible practice, and eventually I got out of that. Then I ended up working for Best Buy for a while, and then I had an office job in first customer support, and then continuous improvement for about 4.5 years until I got laid off when that company downsized and eventually closed. And now I do this for a living. So my degree was completely worthless. To this day, I still wouldn't be able to get a job in the finance industry because they'll still tell me I have no fucking experience, to which I'll say, you guys are a bunch of fucking assholes. I can't get experience unless someone's going to work to pay my fucking bills while I'm working for free for you. So it's obvious that the whole thing is set up to keep a certain elitist class of people in those jobs. It's just that simple. So I never would have been able to get a job in that industry unless I knew someone who was just going to hire me based on knowing me and my family, or if I was able to somehow have an internship for free during college, which I couldn't do. Okay? So there you go. In a nutshell. DJ Runo cheered. He says, I can really see your critics turning Phil Burnell ends world hunger into fat side Phil finds ways to eat more. Pretty much. Like, it doesn't matter what I do. They will either write it off and say it didn't happen, or they'll write it off and they'll say it's for another purpose. Like right now, I guarantee you guys, if I said, guess what, guys, for the first time ever, I decided I'm going to do a charity event. Immediately, all it would be is, well, Phil's doing this to look better. Phil's doing it to make himself look good. He doesn't care about the charity. He doesn't care about this or that. It's just about him trying to look good again so more people will give him money. That's what I mean. Like, this is how they are. No matter what I do, that one group of people would never be satisfied, and that's why I don't give a shit. Okay? All right. Sias Vice cheered. He says, would you consider streaming on Facebook? They pay a salary. And the stream, hold on, I got scrolled again. The streams have to remain exclusively on Facebook. Each streamer has to stream a certain amount per day and have to apply for a vacation like a real job, but there's a lot of hate towards Facebook, so it's a risky move, but it could be more stable. No, Facebook streamers are not gamers. Facebook streamers are people who are like life streamers, vloggers, political people who talk about politics all the time, models, that kind of shit. Facebook streaming is not for gamers. It's not for this kind of content. And no, I would not use it. It's like you said, it's not viable. It's not. Unless you're one of the bigger people, so. Okay, Cody Carl's cheered. He says, when is the next opportunity for Grand Theft Auto 3 HD? Next year? I don't know. Right now, I think we're going to be too busy for it. Between me doing Dark Souls 3, Shenmue, some Street Fighter stuff. Next couple of weeks, we got Fire Pro Wrestling World, then Dragon Quest 11, Spider-Man, SNK Heroines, Tomb Raider, and more stuff near the end of the month there. And then, I mean, shit. And then, of course, October. I don't know if we're going to realistically have time for anything like that at this point. Because people voted for Dark Souls 3. I'm playing Dark Souls 3. Okay? But would I consider doing it? Absolutely. Maybe the end of the year. You know, maybe that would be a good project to do around, like, December when things typically do slow down tremendously for gaming. Maybe do it in December as a good end to the year and the year-end content. Maybe. That could be a good one. All right? So we'll see, but maybe later this year. We'll see. Kate Cheers says, Phil, have you seen Deadpool 2 yet? No, I have not. I didn't see Deadpool 2. I didn't see... did I say Deadpool 2? I didn't see Deadpool... I can't say it. I didn't see Deadpool 2. I didn't see Black Panther. I didn't see Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War, whatever the fuck it's called. I didn't see any of the movies recently, so there you go. Then I got a $5 tip from an insulting person who I am not going to address. So thanks for the money. I'm not reading your insult. Chris cheered again. He says, I know you're a hard worker, but you say you do a lot for pre-streaming gaming these 24 hours a day. How come you don't spend time with Kat before sleep? I just told you my schedule. When I wake up in the morning, she's already gone. She's at work. She comes home while I'm streaming. Then when I finish my first stream, we get roughly 1 to 2 hours a day, depending on when I end the stream and what we're making for dinner, because sometimes we got to cook together and stuff. So basically, we have a dinner together, and we clean up after dinner, and then we have a little bit of time then. Then I got my second stream, and then after my second stream's over, she has to go to sleep within like a half hour to get to her job in the morning. So yeah, on a typical day, I probably see her maybe 2 hours tops. That's a normal day, you know? That's because it's just how the schedules align. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just life. Okay. Floppy Donkey Sausage has cheered and says, what game are you most looking forward to play? Probably Red Dead. Although there are a few others there. Spider-Man in particular, I'm pretty hyped for. And then there's some, like, ones like, I don't know. Will Fallout 76 be good? I don't know. Potential to be great. I love Fallout, but I don't know how good it's going to be. Darksiders 3. You know, it's been a long time since Darksiders. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. But I would say most hyped probably Red Dead. Okay? I81 cheered, and I'm not going to read his entire message. He's basically saying, I believe your house has, like, doubled in value since you bought it. With all that equity in your house, how could you be in financial trouble? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the way it works is, you can only take out loans and stuff against your house if you budget for it. And according to what these companies are saying, because I have looked into it twice, once this year and once last year, per our lending criteria, you have too much debt in your name, and therefore, even with your equity, you can't use it because you wouldn't budget for a loan. That's what I've been told. I wanted to either refinance my original mortgage or I wanted to take out a second mortgage, and I've been declined twice now by 2 major banks. It sucks because I have equity in this house, but I can't use it. And the sell would make no sense because it would cost more to move all the shit out of the house, find another apartment, find an apartment that's not ridiculously expensive, which they all are out here. All the apartments are almost as expensive as what I pay for this house at this point. So, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't think I would be able to realistically move out of this house and do what I do and without massive interruption and problems and costing me more money than anything. So it sucks. I know. It sucks having basically stuck in a financial rut. And if I could right now, I would either refinance my mortgage or I would take out a second mortgage on my house to help out situation-wise here. But I've been told I can't. Maybe I'll look into it again by the end of the year. Maybe I'll go look again. I don't know. But, you're right. You're right. It's kind of weird because I know for a fact home values in this area have jumped since I moved here. And I've been told repeatedly by banks, we can't do anything with it. Which is stupid in my opinion, but whatever. Cody Carl's Charity says, what do you like more, Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne? I don't know. I think they're a little different. Bloodborne, very, very, very action-based. We're parrying and dodging constantly and a lot more attacking-based, while Dark Souls can be a lot different than that, where you're a little bit slower. You now can utilize defense like with shields and the like, and it could be a very effective strategy to use a shield in Dark Souls. Worlds wise, I would say definitely Dark Souls, the lore and the world design is better. Bloodborne honestly does have a lot of the same, even though Bloodborne does have some variety in the areas. A lot of the times you're just in a gothic city, right? So definitely Dark Souls has way more variety in that regard. As a series, I would say Dark Souls is better than Bloodborne overall, just because it's been around longer. Dark Souls 3 versus Bloodborne head up, I don't know. Let me replay Bloodborne. Let me replay Dark Souls 3, and maybe then I'll have a better opinion on it. But right now, I don't have an answer. Chris cheered again. He says, couldn't you schedule your oh my god. Couldn't you do your schedule with hers work when she works, sleep when she does, then spend time? Ugh. I'm sorry, Chris, but you did definitely mangle the English language with that one. I think what he's trying to say is, couldn't you edit your own schedule to be more in line with hers? Yeah, but then what would happen is I'd get less viewers. You know what I mean? Like, I need to have my schedule in line so that when I'm streaming, I can get people to come watch. And right now, okay, I'm streaming at 10 in the morning until 4 p.m. Then I take a break. Then I stream till 9 at night. So I'm streaming hours when Americans can watch. And, at some points, for example, my earlier streams, Europeans can watch, And since I am an English language streamer, it makes sense to stream during the time periods when people who speak the English can actually watch my streams, right? The only thing I would be able to do is maybe stream a little earlier. So maybe instead of 10 p.m. or 10 a.m., maybe 9 a.m. or something. But that wouldn't potentially help that much because I still need to do a second stream and everything. The bottom line is, it is what it is. I have to work during certain hours that make sense. She has to work during certain hours that make sense. You know what I mean? Like, jobs don't operate 24/7, all kinds of jobs. So we're kind of stuck where we are right now. She did actually adjust her schedule because she had a different schedule, and she adjusted it to be hours that would make more sense so that we at least could spend dinner together and then a little bit of time at night. So, yeah. We have done that already behind the scenes. There's just no perfect situation here. You know what I mean? Like, I could adjust a million times. It's still not going to happen where, we're both adults who have jobs and we have to work. And it is what it is in that regard, right? It's life. That's adult life. A lot of people don't realize that. The older you get and the more adult responsibilities you get, the less time you really have to spend with loved ones. And it sucks, but that's just reality, right? But, I'll do my best. And it's not to say that, let me put it this way. The time that we do have together, we definitely take advantage of. Like, our day off, we do a lot of fun stuff together. Significant, meaningful time. And we cherish the time that we have together. We really do. So. All right, Chris cheered one more time. And he says, how come you never play retro game like PS1 or whatnot on Twitch? Also, the less viewers couldn't the tip or whatnot after you stream. What? Again, Chris, I appreciate the cheer. I understand your first question is why don't I play more retro games? Well, I do. If you didn't pay attention this summer, I played a ton of retro games. I played Half-Life 2. I played Simpsons Hit and Run. I played Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I played Silent Hill 2. I played all throwback retro games for this summer when there was really nothing going on. I was constantly Eternal Darkness. That's a GameCube game, you know. I played a lot of throwback retro style games this summer. All right. But it's based on what people want to see me play. So if someone's excited for, do a throwback run of this PS1 classic, and a lot of people are step up and want it or vote for it or whatever, I'll do it. But I wouldn't just, for example, if there's new releases, I'm gonna go with that new release kind of hype and play what's new and hot. I'm not gonna drop everything to play a classic game out of nowhere, Cody Carl's cheered. He says best advice for smaller streamer. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you besides just be yourself and have fun. Don't be so concerned constantly with viewership. Don't be concerned so much with following. Just be yourself and have fun. And that's always been my philosophy. If you be yourself and you have fun with what you're doing, number one, you're going to have a lot more fun doing it. And therefore, instead of being constantly worried about taking it, serious professional, instead just having fun, you'll enjoy yourself regardless of how many people check out what you're doing. And hopefully people will eventually check you out, catch on, and you'll get some natural growth, organic growth, right? I couldn't tell you any huge tips or nothing. I'm not one of these big guys, so. Science Vise just cheered. He says, this is for the cheer lovers in the chat. Also, when is Metal Gear Solid 1 Redemption run? I think the game badly needs one. I know you think you did well, but it was torture to watch. I have no idea, Science Vise, and I really don't care right now, so. Excuse me. All right, guys. So thank you very much for your support. I'm going to end pre-stream now. Actually, you know what I should do is check sub count. And also, one final thing I should do. Oh, we're still at 554 subs. One thing I need to do, which I completely forgot to do this week, and I definitely need to do it. I need to give a shout out and a thank you to the patrons. The patrons for July, okay? Those patrons are currently, right now, nominating and voting on two things. They're nominating on their favorite moments of my 10-year legacy for a throwback anniversary event in September. They're also nominating games for a Patron's Choice playthrough. So thank you to the following July patrons. All right, everybody. So thanks for being patient. We had one final cheer here from Chris, and he says, honestly, what's the biggest stree you have while streaming? I have no idea what a stree is, so I apologize. I don't understand what you're saying, but thank you very much for your cheer. All right, guys, let us end the pre-stream, and then we'll get this party started. All right.